인터뷰 잘 했으면 좋겠습니다. 많이 떨려요.
걱정되는데 잘 해보겠습니다.
네, 그럼 저희 한번 가볼까요?
좋아요.
안녕하세요, 오빠랑 구독자 여러분들. 저희는 지금 주한조지아대사관에 와 있는데요. 안녕하세요.
안녕하세요. 다랏이 파파스쿠와 조지아 대사님입니다.
Please give a brief introduction to the embassy.
Yeah. Thank you for visiting the embassy. My name is Taras Papaskua. I'm ambassador of Georgia to Korea. I'm really happy to have the chance to play my small, humble part in bringing Korea and Georgia together, and look forward to the interview with you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Yes, indeed, and thank God that the COVID pandemic is over and the tourism has rebounded back. Jungkook Palace, as well as the Hanok Village or places along the Han River, are of course our absolute favorites as well for me and for my family. But then there's so much more in Korea, right? I would add one particular also spot in Korea, of course, in Seoul, it's the Namsan Tower and the Namsan Park. In fact, in Tbilisi, in the heart of Tbilisi, we also have a very similar place. It's Tatsminda Park and the Tbilisi Tower. Tatsminda means a holy mountain, and it's just like Namsan Tower is also overlooking the city center of Tbilisi. And also a few words about my country. Of course, Georgia very much prides itself with hospitality, and in fact, if there's a single word to characterize Georgia, it's exceptional hospitality that Georgian people have shown throughout centuries. Firstly, we have a saying in Georgia that the guests are people sent from God. So this whole perception and this whole understanding really can be seen and can be felt by anyone who visits Georgia and comes across with Georgian hospitality. Thank you for this question. Indeed, before bragging about Georgian food, I would like to say that we absolutely love and are in love with Korean cuisine and Korean food. Almost every weekend, me and my family, when we go out for different occasions, we try to taste something new, some different Korean dishes, like bibimbap and kimbap and samgyeopsal and galbi and barbecue, and I mean all these are very tasty and we love it, and we really like the diversity. And then of course Georgian food, it would be very difficult to only name 3, so I would name 5, so my list would be 5. So khinkali is certainly one of the highlights. I mean, this is a really exceptional dish. And the second would be khachapuri, which is a cheesy bread, just to put it very simply, but there are so many different variations. There's also chakapuli. I mean, chahokpili that you named is also very delicious, but chakapuli is even more delicious. That is prepared with beef, with white wine, and there's also satsivi and elarji. So khinkali, again, it's a very special dish that comes from mountainous regions, and much like Korea, Georgia is also a predominantly mountainous country. About 75% is in the mountains. But also in the mountains, when people were living, they came up with this quite great dish, khinkali. Basically, the khinkali resembles to the sun, and it was prepared on Sundays. But nowadays, of course, it's everywhere, and you can taste it everywhere. And when you look at the folds that are made on the khinkali, they have a shape of a borjgali, and it's a sacred Georgian ornament depicting a borjgali, which is a symbol of continuation or unending of life. And supposedly the original khinkali would have 28 folds that depicts the solar cycle. It's a very interesting dish, and in fact the surprise we have for you today is that you will be able to see the preparation of khinkali, how it is made, and also taste it afterwards. And we hope that you will like it. You have absolutely put it correctly that wine has a special role in Georgian cuisine and culture and identity. In fact, wine is really the holy grail of Georgian hospitality. Because at any supra is a table where we are able to sit down and enjoy the dinner and meal together with our guests and together with our friends. And wine is the big part of it, because Georgia also has a great tradition of making toasts. So throughout a typical traditional supra or table or dinner, we have lots of toasts. They start from paying tribute and honoring God to all the way. So a typical Georgian at a table, at a dinner, does not simply consume wine without making a toast. Well, as I mentioned, usually these are toasts, but if you were to say a single word, then it's kaumarjos. Kaumarjos. In Georgian, the literal meaning of kaumarjos is to victory. And it also has its origins because Georgia, always being on the crossroads of different empires and civilizations, was always either invaded or we always had to defend our homeland and motherland. So victory meant a lot. Georgian history is full of battles, full of wars. In fact, many countries have names that are in their own language, different from what we call them in English or other languages. So name Sakartvelo basically means a place where Georgians live. Because in Georgian, Georgians called Kartveli, right? So Sa is the name depicting the place. So Sakartvelo is the place for Georgians, basically. In fact, Tbilisi, the capital of Georgia, the name itself has origins that relates to the legend, according to which the name depicts the place of hot springs. So Tbili means warm or hot in Georgian, and the place that you mentioned where the hot baths are located, this is called Abanotubani. And Abanotubani is an area of baths. It's located, and it's one of the oldest areas and districts in Tbilisi. It's located in a city center, and it is one of the most popular areas because surrounding this area, there are lots of cafes, lots of balconies, lots of 19th, 18th, 17th century architecture. And it's very convenient for walking around, just strolling through the city center, etc. As I mentioned, it's one of the most popular destinations, not only for locals, but as well as for foreigners and tourists who visit the city. There is a vast distance, there's a very far, and we don't have direct flights for the time being, but importantly, this May and June, there are already announced plans of charter flights from Seoul to Tbilisi. I'm sure it will be very positive and also a success. Once again, I mentioned that Georgia is a very friendly, very welcoming, open, and as I mentioned, guests for us, people sent from God. And they will feel this immediately. Georgia offers an unforgettable and very sincere and authentic traveling experience. Georgia is effectively a four-season destination. So not only we have seashore and very beautiful seaside on the Black Sea shoreline, but also we have lots of mountains, as I mentioned. We have developed ski resorts and winter resorts, because again we have highest mountain peak we have is Mountain Elbrus with more than 5,000 meters of altitude. It fascinates for all alpinists and people who love hiking, and ecotourism has become also very trendy and very popular. I know hiking is very popular in Korea as well, so there are increasingly number of mountain trails, different landscapes, and I'm absolutely confident that Koreans who will travel to Georgia, they will feel home.
Please share your thought on this interview, Philly.
Well, first of all, I'm really very grateful and thankful to both of you for interviews, which really gives me a great opportunity to share some more interesting parts about our life, our feelings, our emotions in Korea, as well as to share some of the things that we feel most proud about Georgia. Because our daily job is, of course, official meetings, official events, and receptions and meetings. We very much appreciate this opportunity, and I'm happy that we had a chance to sit down for sharing this my thoughts and my ideas. And also, as I mentioned, as I promised, I would like to also have you to have this experience of how to make khinkali and then taste it and hopefully you enjoyed it. So I'm really grateful. And I look forward to the interview once again. Thank you so much. 감사합니다.
It's our pleasure.
Yeah.
감사합니다.
Didi madlobat koen. Didi madlobat.
And I would appreciate your words of support for the relationship between Korea and Georgia.
Our official diplomatic ties between Korea and Georgia in 2022, we celebrated 30th anniversary, and throughout this time, we've really managed to see eye to eye. We have same values, we share common values such as democracy, freedom, human rights, and democracy, right? And something that I'm personally motivated and I'm personally dedicated is to bringing more Georgia to Korea as well as bringing more Korea to Georgia. And based here, sometimes I feel like also promoting Korea more in my country than Georgia in Korea, because all the things that we learn about and we are fascinated about, of course I'm sharing this on my personal Facebook page or Instagram or x.com, right? So Korea is a fascinating country with its achievements, with its very vibrant and dynamic society. Again, we hope that in the next few years there will be much more awareness, much more people-to-people exchange and cultural exchange between Georgia and Korea. And I'm really happy to have a chance to have my small share and small humble part in this really fascinating process, which is very rewarding. And once again, I'm grateful to both of you and all of you for doing this interview. Yeah.